'Twas the night before Christmas, when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care, in hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there. The children were nestled all snug in their beds, except for little Martin, who was roaming the house instead. He had slipped out of bed and was waiting for any sight or sound that would indicate to him that Santa Claus was around. For an eternity he waited, and although he had seen nothing yet, little did he know that this Christmas Eve would be one he would never forget. Suddenly Martin heard footsteps on the driveway outside, so he crept behind a couch and began to hide. Martin shook with excitement as he could hardly believe that he was about to catch Santa Claus in his home on Christmas Eve. Then the front door creaked open and swung all the way back, and in the doorway to the home appeared a man dressed in all black. The man in black looked around, making sure no one was awake, and perhaps scanning the house for items that he could take. Peeking over the couch, Martin was in a state of confusion. Surely it could not be Santa Claus who was behind this intrusion. Santa would not be dressed in all black and steel-toed boots. And if this were Santa Claus, where was his red suit? So Martin plucked up his courage and leapt out from his lair, confronting the strange man and yelling, "Stop right there!" The man in black received the fright of his life, but instead of fleeing the house, he chuckled and replied,
"Don't worry, little boy. I didn't mean to harm you. I didn't realise anyone would be awake. I don't mean to alarm you. Go back to bed and don't tell Mum and Dad."
But Martin suspected that he was being had. So Martin stood his ground and said to the man, "Out you get!" But the man in black stood his ground and replied,
"No, not yet."
I'm Santa Claus, yes, you see. And this is my sack, filled with presents for children like you, so cut me some slack. You must go back to bed and wait until dawn, or else you'll wake up on Christmas morning to find all of your presents gone.
But Martin stayed put, as he knew this man was a liar, looking more like a criminal with his all-black attire, with his sinister demeanour and hoodlum outfit. The man in black didn't look like Santa Claus one bit. So Martin stood firm and again told the man in black to leave, knowing all too well that he was being deceived. The man in black grew impatient and wanted the boy to go away, so that he could get to work in the house without further delay.
Now listen, Martin, if that's your real name.
Yes, that is my name. How did you know that? That's so strange.
I really am Santa Claus, and I can make you believe me. By showing you some presents I'll put under the tree.
Sure enough, he began to pull presents out of his sack.
Here's a Blu-ray DVD player, which I definitely didn't take, from a young family's home, as they were on a Christmas break. And here's a baseball bat that you can add to your collection. I definitely never used it for break-ins and protection.
Martin was so amazed by the presents that he began to believe that this really was Santa Claus in his home on Christmas Eve. The man in black sensed that the young boy was persuaded, but he had unfinished business to attend to in the house he had invaded.
Now I know that you've seen some of your presents and you're very excited. But you'll only get these presents if you go back upstairs and head to bed.
Martin was so excited that he let out a squeal because he had finally met Santa Claus, for real. So Martin crept upstairs and closed his door, and in a matter of seconds, he began to snore. The man in black watched Martin leave and smirked with delight. And after his work was done in the living room, he ran away into the night. Awakening the next morning, Martin ran down the stairs, but upon entering the living room he gasped, for no presents were there. Under the Christmas tree where Martin's presents should reside lay only a bag of coal, with Martin's name written on its side. Martin slumped to the ground, and into his hands he wept, for a Christmas without any presents was without doubt his worst Christmas yet. Far away from the house, back at the North Pole, Santa Claus laughed to himself as he thought about Martin and his coal.
For the man in black was me, Santa Claus, this whole time, and I never intended to commit any crime. I had been testing Martin to see if he was naughty or nice, and had caught him looking for me in his home that night. So heed this warning, and beware what you might receive. If you go searching for Santa Claus on Christmas Eve!